Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead reading. This is the week commencing the 27th of October. Now you probably noticed this is going out a little bit later than usual. It's because I've had an absolute disastrous day. I videoed 6 videos earlier on and my mic didn't work on any of them. And yet it was green as it is now. It's green there. Are we in a Mercury retrograde? Because my dishwasher and washing machine broke this week too. Do let me know. Anyway, we're starting off with the tea leaf fortune cards for you. And we have got 2 out already, just as a little different with the reading. So we've got throne, we've got position of authority, maybe at work. And then we've got vine, seek out information that will help you. So let's see what the tarot says. Now we're having a slightly different tarot deck too. Well, a completely different tarot deck. Perhaps a different feel for the reading though, because these are the Unfolding Path tarot deck. Gives a little bit of a different energy to the reading, which I love. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully better than earlier on. Oh my gosh, I love that card. That's the Page of Cups in this deck. That's what drew me to this deck, because it reminds me of my dad. But anyway, Aries, let's get on with your reading. So dear Spirit Guides and Angels, please join me in this reading for Aries and make it helpful, hopeful and healing. What is the focus for Aries? We have the 4 of Pentacles. The opportunity is, it's Temperance. I'm just getting used to these cards. The 7 of Swords is your challenge. We have the King of Swords as bubbling under the surface. And then advice and outcome, we have the Lovers. Major Arcana, Temperance, Major Arcana, Lovers is a Major Arcana. So the 4 of Pentacles is your focus. Interesting, I've got mixed views on this 4 of Pentacles in this deck, because he's clinging on to that money for dear life. Also reminds me of B.A. Baracus out of the A-Team. If you know, you know. If you've got of the same era as me. But anyway, the 4 of Pentacles, yeah, look at him. He's like really completely holding on to the money, holding on to the pennies. So the focus is, have you got to pull in the, pull in the purse strings, draw in the purse strings, be a bit more organised with the finances next week. Maybe you've been a bit, I don't know, overspending and you need to pull it in a bit. But you know what I say, did you enjoy yourself? If you did, so what? Temperance is your opportunity. Temperance is about balancing 2 things, 2 issues, if you like, 2 energies to make a harmonious one. Now with Temperance, the message of patience comes in too. So there's an opportunity for, maybe you thought, I don't know if this is ever going to work for me. But in actual fact, if that is what you're thinking, then it's a case of just be patient. It will come eventually. The 7 of Swords is your challenge. Interesting. 7 of Swords can represent somebody who's being a bit sneaky behind your back. Cheating, lying, stealing card is what they call it. For me, it's also perhaps about your cutting communication with somebody. It can be that they're cutting communication with you even, and that's a challenge for you. You're being ignored perhaps, maybe at work, in a work situation too. Until we clarify, it's not 100%. Now the King of Swords is what's bubbling under the surface, and this is you feeling that things need to be perhaps a bit more just and fair. You know, the decisions that you've been making, they need to be a bit more balanced perhaps, or you're feeling that people aren't seeing your side or your point of view with something. Because the King of Swords, for me, he's my judge of the deck. He's the person that gathers the information and he takes their side of the story and he takes their side of the story. And then he actually comes up with a really fair, also very truthful resolution. So that's bubbling under the surface for you. Now the Lovers is your advice and outcome. Lovers is your relationships, your friendships with others, but also it's about choices. And again, until we clarify, I'm not 100% where that is, but whether that lies within your relationships and friendships, or a choice about a work situation perhaps still. But the Lovers is also about whatever you're passionate about to do with your heart chakra. So we are actually going to clarify still with the unfolding path tarot and see how that goes. I'm just liking it to be very simple messages, which is why I went for the tea leaf fortune, because they're, as you know, they're quite short, sharp messages too. Now, the Four of Pentacles, why do we have that for Aries, please and thank you? The Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant is a very spiritual card. Represents spirituality, obviously. It represents commitment to things. It can represent marriage, and at the same time it can represent divorce. It's whatever long-term commitments that you have. Now, with that Four of Pentacles, you feeling perhaps need to pull in the purse strings a bit more. Maybe you need to look at your commitments at the moment. Are they financially viable? The Hierophant is also about giving advice and being a bit of a guru. Perhaps there's an element of you seeking some sort of financial advice next week, but let's just do one more on that Hierophant, because I say it does have so many different messages. Clarified by the Queen of Cups. Oh, interesting. Now, the Queen of Cups is about following your heart's desires. Okay, which makes sense now with the Lovers here. The Hierophant and the Queen of Cups does equal kind of like a marriage or a relationship kind of energy going on there, a commitment to a relationship, and a relationship where you can be yourself, because the Queen of Cups there, she's so confident, she's full of self-love there too, which is lovely. Not sure where that Four of Pentacles is fitting in, where the focus is on you, perhaps because they are holding their cards or holding those pentacles so close to their chest. It's time to release a little bit maybe next week, especially with the Queen of Cups coming up. It's like maybe less focus on the finance, more focus on what you love, how you look at yourself, and your commitments to those that you love or people that commit to you around you. Bit of a relationship going on here, I think. Relationship review, or something about looking at what commitments you have to others, and are you getting it back, maybe. Now, the Temperance is about, it's an opportunity for temperance. If you feel like maybe you're with somebody that's like more interested in the financial side, there's not a lot of passion and love there, then maybe Temperance is here to say, be patient about that. It's coming. Let's have a look though. Let's see. Eight of Wands. I love the Eight of Wands in this deck. Looks like he's surfing, doesn't it? And I want to do the Beach Boys song to that. But anyway, Temperance. Oh, lots of communication coming in regarding this situation that you're trying to balance and hope for a harmonious outcome. Because the Eight of Wands is about very fast action, lots of activity surrounding it. Very positive card though. It's like you're going to sit down and talk through some issues with somebody about commitments to something. And you're working through this blockage, if you like, by communicating. And it's good communication too, it's positive. And it kind of sets things in motion for you. And look how he's pointing ahead. It's like everything's falling into place simply because of the communication side of it. Now, the Seven of Swords is your challenge. Why do we have the Seven of Swords as a challenge? Please and thank you. We have the Knight of Wands as a challenge too. Now, the Knight of Wands for me in this deck, she's just taken the baton, if you like, and running with it. She's taken that challenge and going, yeah, all right, I'll show you. But as a challenge with that Seven of Swords, I feel I don't know if you've mentioned this to somebody else and I feel like feels like they're stealing some sort of idea of yours that you've perhaps spoken to them about, you've discussed it with them. Because I feel like that Knight of Wands there as a challenge is doing it for all the wrong reasons. Maybe with that Seven of Swords, you're having to hold back on your ideas of what you want to do. And the Seven of Swords is you keeping things from others. And that must be very frustrating with that Knight of Wands sat there, because the Knight of Wands is, come on, let's get this show on the road kind of energy. But for some reason, you can't, because that, I don't know whether you've got other plans that you need to make before you tell anybody. But there is an opportunity here to start those plans and get them off to a good start. Now, the King of Swords is bubbling under the surface. And the King of Swords is, as I say, decisions to be made that are just and fair, which are very important to you. It's also about getting some sort of legal advice, perhaps, too. Let's have a look, King of Swords, while you're here. For Aries. We've got the Four of Swords. Oh, I like this, because it kind of tells me that you're quite settled with leaving it in the hands of somebody that perhaps, or you're very trusting of somebody else, or that a fair outcome will be decided on this, especially with Temperance being there too. And it's actually quite calming and soothing for you. You're putting the trust maybe in some sort of legal decision, or somebody, or that is going, like, even if it's not somebody else, it's yourself saying, what goes round comes round, and I'm going to trust that a decision's going to be made that's fair, the fairest decision of all that can be made. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm blah, blah, blah a bit. And I like to see the Four of Swords with that, because that tells me that this isn't keeping you up at night. It's like you've got this deep knowing, this deep trust in the justice system, or somebody that you know will see the truth of the matter. Now, the Lovers is your advice and outcome. Very much about relationships, passions, choices. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. I love that. The Wheel of Fortune is all about things moving in your favour. Now, if you are communicating with somebody about an issue up here, about self-love, loving, and the commitments you're making, the Lovers, to me, tells me that by communicating and getting it out in the open and trusting that somebody's going to be fair in their decision, kind of makes you feel better in itself. And then the Wheel of Fortune's coming in to say, right, okay, well, now we've got over that, we can move to the next stage. The Wheel of Fortune is about getting out of a rut as well in the relationship or friendship or something that you're very passionate about. And it's about seeing the benefits and the positivity of it. Let me just do one more on that Wheel of Fortune for you, Aries. So it kind of feels like you've gone through a little bit of a bumpy stage here. And coming out the other side, yeah, look at that, King of Cups, lovely. King of Cups is somebody who's very open with their emotions. You know, he'll get things out in the open. He's very emotionally stable too. Yeah, I like this. It feels like you're coming out the other side of perhaps of some relationship issues, and now through the talking, through the communication, through the patience, is it's coming together. And it's also, not only that, it means that you can see a future with, if this is a person or a job or something that you're very passionate about. It could even be that with this King of Cups, especially with the lovers, there's some sort of counselling going on here, that you're both talking, there's a mediation going on. Not necessarily, again, with your partner, it can be mediation at work, for instance. But it's lovely. It's like things are coming out in the open, and that's the most important thing. Now, let's finish off with a manifestation card. Seek out information that will help you. Now, Vine was your card. Seek out information that will help you. And Throne, position of authority. Let's see what your manifestation is. Let's finish on, there is no lack or limitation. Don't make the mistakes of thinking that everything comes from the outside world. If you think that, you will most surely experience lack and limitation in your life. Your mind is the creative power behind all things, so how can there be any lack? It's impossible. Your ability to think is unlimited, and so the things that you can think into existence are also unlimited. Wow, I love that for you, Aries. I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, sorry it's a bit late coming out. But yeah, a bit of a disaster today. Oh, I'm hot. Have a great week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the midweek readings too, and I'll see you next week. Take care, Aries.